Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about 2v1s and how they relate to the different zones on the field. I took a recording from one of my team practices. This is my first video, so I do apologize if I sound a little bit monotone. Um, but there's some very good content. I really think that it will benefit all of you guys. So please check it out and comment below. Tell me what you think. Good luck. So this is going to be the 2v1 vertical drill. We have a neutral here. He positions himself higher up on the pitch. So these orange cones, there's two gates, one on the right, one on the left. They could only score by dribbling through. So we have a black team versus a yellow team. Again, the green is neutral. Any of the attacking players can score, whether it's the neutral or the team, for example, in this case, yellow, or now black. Um, so in this situation, black decided to take on the player. Green gave him an option this way. Black kind of faked and went out and went that way, right? So they could score either way. And this basically, if we kind of think about it, we look at a field. Um, Maybe that's like a center back passing it to a right back, and the right back, moving the ball forward, or maybe one center, maybe a center mid passing it to a winger, and the winger moving it forward. However you want to look at it, but that's basically our 2v1 vertical. This drill, super simple, few cones, set it up, and kind of let the kids play a little bit, and look for the situations where you can make a correction. You know, you let them be creative as much as possible, but there should be some common sense when it comes to their decision making, right? Depending on how the defender is either pressuring or taking away the space, is what you're gonna correct. So in this situation right here, the reason I paused it is because the neutral player, he's receiving the pass, and black immediately comes to pressure and take away the lane to dribble through. So what I tried telling the neutral player there is, hey, instead of trying to take a touch forward and then getting into a physical battle trying to force it forward, take that touch against that defender's momentum and then switch that ball. Right? And he kind of did it. The reason I corrected him is because it took him, he took a touch that he didn't need to. Like right there, he should have touched it back and then switched it, because that guy was just coming so fast. So there, I'm kind of explaining. I'm gonna show it in. We're gonna walk it through, right? I'm gonna ask the defender to come pressure. There, I'm showing what we did wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him to come pressure again, right? And then I'm gonna take that touch backwards, bam, and then we would switch that ball, right? So little visual. Um, for the kids so that they understand what I'm talking about. Looks like the neutral there understood the moment, and he look again. He understands the moment, uses the momentum against the kid. There he should have passed. He decided to go for the 1v1. Not a big deal. They got a trial and error, right? So we move forward. Overall, it's a cool little drill that there's an easy flow to the game. Kids get a lot of repetitions, which is very important. So let's see, and I think that one kind of, there you go. So this 2v1 drill is a little bit different. So now instead of having a neutral, it's um, if you're attacking, two of your players are in. If you're defending, the player that previously was able to dribble through into the other half stays in defense. The other player goes back and switches lines to, start on a different side on the next turn. So in this one, there's no gates. They simply got to do is dribble into the next half. Easy, easy activity. All right. So let's see their problem-solving skills in this one. Okay, a little forced, but he got through. And this kind of teaches them, like, hey, if I got space, I dribble forward. If I don't have space, um, then I gotta look for that passing angle. All right. Um, there's gonna be a correction coming up here. That player over here, I just told him use your back foot, right? He's coming this way a lot because he's receiving with his right foot when the ball's coming from his right. So he should have been able to take a touch with his left going forward, right? Here, the correction I did make is this is, again, this is a horizontal 2v1, right? So think of maybe two center mids playing next to each other or two center backs being pressured by one player trying to get out of the back. Um, and so what we want to do is these players got to give each other an easy passing angle. It's a 2v1, so if they're taking the passing angle away, it's an easy dribble up, right? So let's look at that situation. Okay, so this player is going to end up playing more of like if he was giving, a diagonal ball forward. And the reason I didn't catch it on the first time is because she's already kind of positioning herself that way, right? So she should be patiently giving him, an angle, easy angle this way, which she's not. All right, so I make the correction there. I might have messed up my wording there. All right, she's patiently there. How easy it is to get past. Good job. Then we move on to the next. All right, so I mean, super simple drill. It's supposed to be simple. Um, you know, I always try to keep my activities as simple as possible in a way that's going to be um, we're going to get the most out of it. So this has been helping us a lot in the games. They've been learning how to play with each other. Obviously, they're U11. They're still in the learning process, right? So going into this activity here, this what we just did is going to translate into this. So these are two zones. I put basically we can look at it as zone 2 and zone 3. So when I talk about zone 2 is we're kind of in the middle of the field about to go into their defensive third, right? And the beauty about this one is that I mean anytime the ball's on this side, now this is zone 1 and this is zone 2 for the yellow team, right? So it's super easy. The rule here is we have 3 players plus a goalie in zone 2. And we have a striker in zone 3, right? And so when we have the ball, the goalie and the center player here could be looked at as two center mids, and these two players could be looked at like wingers. Um, Once we cross the ball into zone 3, we can have two players from from the black team go into zone 3 one player plus a goalie stay back here to be options in case we need to come back a little bit. Um, if we don't have any clear scoring opportunities or ways to build in zone three, right? So let's kind of take a look at how this looks. So just to kind of clarify, defenders are not allowed to dribble into. Sorry, defenders are not allowed to cross over into this zone when they're defending, right? We can only switch zones when we're attacking, and again, that's only two players from zone two that can go into zone three to create an equal amount of players in the final third. Normally, teams try to have more players in their defensive third, and what we're trying to do is trying to equalize that number to give us a better chance of creating chances to score. Kind of letting it flow here in a little bit. What I love about this is that players are able to kind of see they're making decisions based off what the opponent does, the defenders do. So if they got space, they take the space. If they don't got it, they're looking for a connection. Right there, I'm telling him he could dribble into the next zone. He passed it when he had space. He could have gone in there. Take that space. This part right here is very important, right? Because now we're talking about this is kind of going into zone one where we're trying to play out of the back, starting from our goal. And even though that wasn't our main focus, it's still a chance for me to teach this, right? So we're being pressured by one player. How do we solve that problem? How do we create 2v1 against that player, right? How do we create multiple 2v1s? So I ask a lot of guided questions. I'm not the best at guided questions. Uh, Sometimes I kind of spill the beans a lot myself. I just want to get moving. I feel like I could get better at that, but I do think that I am successful in getting the boys to think. You know, so that's what we're trying to create is create good thinkers, not just good listeners. So let's see how they solve this problem. See, okay, oh, good little switch. He's open space. Way to not force it. My player here, I don't know where he was going. He could have just opened up here, but whatever. It's all right. It's a learning process, right? Let's see how we do on this side. They completely understood without me having to re-explain, which is amazing. It's a beauty when that happens. So this player came into pressure here. He's not allowed to. Again, defenders got to stay in their zone. Only attackers can go into the next zone. Good little cut, good attempt, good idea. Let's see what else we got. I like, he's understanding, hey, we got the 2v1 here. Let's play. Let's open it up. Bad pass. Not a big deal. So one thing that I'm pointing out here is she's understanding, hey, I can't beat this guy, maybe he's too fast or I just, there's nothing clear here. She's passing the ball right back. Maybe he has a better chance of seeing something better to continue to have the ball and create a chance to score. So I try not to tell them, hey, do this, do that. But when they start to make good decisions on their own, I love it. So I'm gonna kind of give her a little bit of praise here. So again, I think it's really important. I'm asking the questions. One of the kids gave the correct answer. I kind of elaborate on it, and then what I do is I try to sit back and hopefully not have to dictate. Hey, go back or whatever, right? Like they make the decisions on their own. And you're gonna see here in a little bit that yellow's gonna start to do that, and they're gonna start building some good plays off of that. That tells us that they're thinking. They're again that's the most important thing about this. He feels he can beat her. Good little 1v1 action there. Not bad, not bad. This player here should be wider, but I was on the far side. I couldn't catch it. He's all right. Way to be patient. Well done. Yep, there we go. Back into zone 1 or 2, and then the ball moved forward again. It's a good little chance created. Not bad. Maybe outside. Not a big deal. Always focusing on the main, what are we trying to achieve here? I love it. He saw the chance. He took it. Drove it forward. Oh, good job. Right. Oh, nice goal. Okay, 2v1 right here. Nice. Okay, the vertical 2v1. The horizontal 2v1. Okay, good chance. He's a righty. No big deal. Okay, so let's look at these 2v1s here, right? So again, this is showing us how 2v1's happening everywhere on the field. It's really easy to find those options, right? So let's see, look. There's our 2v1 here, and there's our 2v1 here, right? This one's more horizontal. This one's a little bit more vertical because we can move the ball forward. This will definitely break a line. Decides to take it on himself. Nice finish. Again, right? Letting them be creative. I'm not gonna, hey, pass to her. This I could have easily said, and I will admit, uh, maybe a couple years ago, I would have been, hey, pass it to her. She's open, right? But hey, he felt, hey, I can beat this guy. You know, he has the skill. Seen the chance, created his angle, took the shot. Well done. Way to be creative. Good idea. I love that. She immediately identifies the pass. The good little wall pass goes a little bit wide. All right. Okay. We're thinking. Good little switch. Good little wall pass there. Nice. Way to way to be ready. Good little cherry picker over here. Just waiting. Good positioning. Ready for anything that might come through. Lucky chances. A goal is a goal, right? So I think at this point, I mean, I kind of, you know, I, I think that it's just I'm gonna let it run. Let you guys enjoy. If this video is helpful, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But I'm just gonna let it run. Let you guys enjoy these kids play soccer. Obviously, this is at a practice. There's is not the intensity is not that high, but because they're thinking they're solving the problem, I'm not gonna push in too much. Um, Aside from that, it was kind of like the first hot day of the year, so they were a little bit sluggish to begin with. But the main thing that we want to get out of this is, are they understanding their 2v1 situations? Are they making good decisions based on what the defenders are doing? You know, are they taking the chance when they have it? We want to create confident players. So just enjoy. Holy. Let's check out some of the best plays here, some little highlights. Nice, that was a good ball. The field doesn't help much. Nice, good read. The little horizontal 2v1 right there. Beautiful. Good cut inside. Beautiful finish. So we got yellow. A little counter. Nice, good diagonal run. Yes. There you go. That one actually went in. At least it looked like it. Ooh, nice. Good little third man action there. I didn't catch that in the beginning. Let me see that again. Where are we at? Let's see that one again. Yeah, it's a little third man action right there. Bam, bam. Awesome. Good job, boys. Hey, at this point, if you are still here, again, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be creating more content like this. And if this was helpful, maybe share it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys. Have a good one.